Arne Slot has finally cracked, and he's finally slipped up, and he's told us about his transfer plans for the future, and it confirms one of my long-standing theories all season. I'm going to break it down for you right now because this is the channel that is all Liverpool all the time. It's all red. Please hit that like button and consider subscribing. Let's jump right in, guys. We don't have time to mess around here. I've got Slot's transfer plans, and yes, I think Arne Slot is involved. We're going to get to it, all right? But Arne Slot has given us some hope here. First of all, we know what he said repeatedly over and over again. Even in last summer during preseason, sorry, I'll take these off. Arne Slot said he was happy with the squad. He said it many times. And I do believe him. I know that managers probably say that all the time when maybe their ownership or their clubs are not giving them money to spend. They have to say that. It, keeps the squad happy because they think that they're good players. And he's, not throwing shade at the ownership. I actually think Arne Slot is really happy with the squad, and you can tell by the results on the field. At the same time, I think he is looking to make some investments, and he wants to maybe make some changes in the squad. But my theory is that Arne Slot came in and agreed with Edwards and Hughes that he wanted a full year. I think this was always the plan. And I know some of you are going to say, oh, you're an FSG shill and you're just covering up the sins of FSG. No, I actually really believe this, guys. I think Arne Slot wanted a full year to assess the squad, barring major injuries, right? If there were some major injuries that needed, help in the winter transfer. But to be honest, we're getting everyone back. We have 2 injuries at the moment. To Curtis Jones and Gomez, and I think Gomez is back in training, and Jones probably back soon. Jota is out, of course, but Jota is Jota, so he's always injured. But I think Arne Slot always wanted a full year to assess the squad and to really see what he had, and to see who could play in the slot ball system. Now, I believe that Arne Slot is heavily involved in the transfers for Liverpool. And I really believe this because I think Arne Slot is a very good judge of talent. I think he's got an eye for it. And I think he knows the types of players that he wants to bring into his system, who could flourish and thrive in his system. So I think Slot works very, very hand in hand with Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards to say, this is the type of player I want. Can you go find them? Or I think in the case of Zubimendi, because I really do believe that Liverpool were in for him, I think Slot was probably like, hey, I would love Zubimendi. It's the only player I really want right now. Can you go get him? And they tried and it didn't work out. But I think Slot is heavily involved. It's not just Hughes out there making rogue decisions that, Slot may or may not want. I think Hughes is a really good judge of talent. Just look at the Bournemouth team that we're about to come up against. They're full of young talent, and they've done really well. They're hitting above their weight class currently in the Premier League. But I think Slot's heavily involved, and that's important because Arne Slot's a very, very smart guy, and you pair Arne Slot's brain with the analytics styles of Edwards and Hughes, and you've got a really good partnership there. Right? It's not just the Manchester United, who is Liverpool currently interested in? What are the rumors saying? Let's go buy that player because that's not working. And I'm shocked that Manchester United continue to spend. That's the issue. I think they're making mistake after mistake while Liverpool is sitting back and saying, there's not a good left back out there available right now. So we're not just going to go spend 50 to 60 million on a Milos Kerkez, who, by the way, I don't think is very good. I don't think he's good enough for Liverpool. I think the stats are pretty clear on that. The data does not lie. But I think Slot's heavily involved. And by the way, to give it a year makes sense, right? You've got a new manager coming in. There's not, massive gaps in this squad as is. Just look at the results on the field. And you give it a year to assess what you have instead of going out and spending on players that may or may not fit in, right? Or, hey, everybody said we need defensive midfielder. We need DMs. We need a 6. We don't have a 6. Arne Slot came in and said, yeah, we do. We've got the world's best number 6 in Ryan Gravenberch. And look what he did, right? So I am on board with that. Now, last thing, this is the most exciting part to me. I think there's a busy summer ahead in 2025. Arne Slot has now had a full year to assess his squad and not just assess, okay, who do we need to buy, but I think who we need to sell. And I'm going to do another video on who could potentially be sold in the summer after Liverpool are completed with the 24-25 season. What kind of funds can be generated? And then who does Arne Slot need to go out and purchase to fit in to his team? I think there's a busy summer ahead, and Arne Slot confirmed this because this is what he said. I'm gonna try to do my best Arne Slot impression, and you guys can tell me in the comments how bad it is. Here's what he said at his latest press conference. They haven't seen us doing a lot in the transfer market in the summer and now in January as well. There's a reason for that because we're happy with the squad. But I do know we're definitely working on strengthening in the summer. That was awful, but that's what Arne Slot said. I do know we are definitely working on strengthening in the summer. That's what Arne Slot said. I believe him. I don't know what that means. I don't think it means Liverpool go out and spend $250 million like certain clubs have done recently, certain Manchester-based clubs. But I do know that I think Arne Slot has a plan. I think he knows what he wants. And I think he's going to work hand in hand with Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards to get some deals done and make Liverpool even stronger. Let me know what you think in the comments. There's some wild theories coming out, but I think this one's actually pretty sound.